So today I just wanted to take a quick look at the 2016 film Krampus Unleashed. This is a direct-to-video film, so obviously you do have, to some degree, not to be rude, subpar acting. Some of the lighting is very dark, so some of the scenes are very difficult to see, and the creature makeup is limited. So you basically have a version of Krampus with it's a decently sculpted mask, and basically the rest of the costume is more of like a furry robe or a cape that the actor has draped around himself, which is more obvious when he's walking around in the scenes, but for the most part a decent character design. So the film begins with a group of fortune hunters. They are trying to find some treasure, and they wind up unearthing a chest with a very large piece of black rock. It looks like obsidian, but apparently this is somewhat of a summoning stone. So when it is brought in contact with fire, for some odd reason, it summons this Krampus creature. So he pretty much just goes on a killing spree against whoever it is that summoned him, purposely or accidentally, but he basically just murders them. So the kill scene in the intro of this film actually comes in at 8 minutes in, and basically a lot of the kills are very exaggerated, very cheesy. It could be something as simple as something seen later in the film where the Krampus pulls a guy's head back, basically rips it off, but you can see the divider in the neck. It kind of, obviously he's holding a mannequin or a doll. It looks kind of like the segmentation you see on a doll where you can actually just pull the head off. So it's very marked where the head is going to come off from. And of course you do have a bit of blood spewing upward, but it's just the fact that, yes, I understand that they were working within a budget, they were working with their means, but, I think at best they could have at least put a scarf on that character or on the doll just to better mask that segmentation. That's just me, but, not the end of the world. But that's just the intro scene in this film. Obviously the segmentation of the head happens later on in the film. I was just skipping ahead, so sorry about that minor confusion it might have caused. But we skip to modern day. We have, I believe, two families meeting up with a third for Christmas holiday, and they are basically only just coming together for the holiday. They don't seem to be very close-knit. They really don't seem to care for each other too much. I guess you could say to some degree part of the disconnection would be one of the boys from one of the families. He is described as a pervert by a female cousin. They're roughly within the same age range, and she tells her parents about how he tried filming her outside her bedroom window one year. So of course upon their arrival, because somehow the two families happen to arrive at the same time, more or less. So they're both greeted outside simultaneously by the hosting family. And this little creep really does not waste any time. As the girl is saying hi to the hosting family, you see this little pervert in the background holding his cell phone out, and my assumption is he is filming her butt. But they are blood related, so obviously there is that amount of disconnection there, and obviously in his mind a girl is just a girl. Relation does not matter. But it is not the best movie, I'm not going to lie. The dialogue itself is also very boring. It's a very basic plot. There is at least one booby flash in the movie, because the general rule is boobs make everything better, even if it's a bad movie. So I don't know how much it helped. I don't know how much something like that in this type of film actually helps, but for some reason there is that general idea that boobs make everything better. Not necessarily. But this Krampus creature really does not waste any time on wreaking havoc. He very quickly picks everyone off, And as the survivors start making their way out of the house, someone comes up with this idea that they should bury Krampus in a mine, because obviously the obsidian is somewhat of a homing device. So he's following whoever carries this rock. So they run off to a mine, and I'm assuming they leave the rock there, and they set off some dynamite to basically just bury him there. The ending sequence, for some odd reason, makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, which is a baby Krampus which attacks a random survivor. But this film, for the most part, really doesn't make too much sense. It's very dull, it's a very basic plot. As I've said, it's a very boring dialogue. I would honestly say just skip it. If you're a Krampus enthusiast, especially now that we're at the height of the whole Krampus craze, there are tons of other movies to choose from. Please skip this one. You will not be missing anything. Unless, of course, you're just one of those people that enjoys watching bad movies just for the sake of making fun of them. But I can honestly not recommend this film. I can't even say it's a time killer film, because I honestly don't think if you're trying to kill time you would make it through the majority of this film. But that is all I have for you guys today, and I will talk to you later.